So you're trying to figure out if you and your spouse are incompatible, if this is just not working. Here's a little thought exercise to help you figure that out. Take you a piece of paper and write down all the reasons why the relationship is failing, the reasons why you want to leave them. And do it in bullet point fashion, best you can. And then afterwards, you go down the list one by one, and you examine each one, and you ask yourself, is this a make or break? Meaning, is this something I absolutely cannot live with or tolerate? Or is this just really annoying? Now, keep in mind, there are no right or wrong answers to this. This is entirely up to you. You know your life, you know what you can tolerate. Just be honest with yourself and don't delude yourself. And you probably shouldn't do this while you're still mad at them. Because here's the deal. You go down the list one by one. If it's a make or break, there's your answer. This is a behavior you simply cannot live with. Now, if it's something you just find really annoying, meaning it just really annoys you so badly, it starts fights, this and that, it's not something you would actually leave them over, then you need to ask yourself some questions. Well, what if this person never changed this behavior? Is it worth leaving them over? And be honest with yourself. And don't, for now, just for now, we're not tallying it all up. You're just going through it line by line, one by one, and answer those questions. And if it is just annoying, meaning something that just irks you and riles you up and maybe gets you all fighting, but it's not something you would leave him over or leave her over, then the issue probably isn't the issue. The issue is likely your attitude about the issue. And what I mean by that is many relationships come to an end. Death by 1,000 paper cuts, right? You've heard that. Just a lot of little things that add up over time. Resentment takes root. Resentment grows into contempt. And it's really hard to save a relationship once it gets to contempt. But not impossible. The longer a couple stays to, stuff starts to annoy us and add up. A lot of times these behaviors that we begun with that we could just tolerate and turn a blind eye to, they eat at us. And so if you married a woman who was a slob when you were dating her, for instance, and she's a slob when y'all got married, why are you letting that sit and fester inside of you? Why go over that? Y'all fight about it, nothing changes. Or maybe you're a girl and your boyfriend was never ambitious. He could never hold a job. 3 years deep, got a child now, and he hasn't changed a lick, and the pressure's on you, you're winning the bread. A pretty crappy situation for sure, and one that ends many relationships, to be sure. I'm just giving examples. I'm not saying his behavior is okay at all. But if you look at that issue yourself, and your honest answer is, well, I wouldn't leave him, even if he looked me in the eye and told me I'll never work another job again. If that wouldn't be enough to leave him, then why are you? And maybe it is, and no judging. You're going to leave him because of that. But why would you sit there and ruminate on it and let that fester into resentment and that resentment into contempt is what I'm trying to say. So if you identify on this list things that annoy you, the answer is, and it takes time, and it's something to try. There's no guarantee it'll work. This is just last-ditch effort stuff to try. Stop dwelling on it. It takes time. It will always annoy you. But why sit there and ruminate and think on it and let that anger fester? Why do that? And this is really helpful. From personal experience, I've done this and helped out my marriage tremendously. First off, it's a big weight off your shoulders. You stop ruminating on all the little things that annoy you. And without all that energy going towards the negative, going towards holding resentment and going over these thought processes of how terrible your spouse is, it leaves you room to focus on the better things and give better to the relationship. We tend to punish each other, even when we annoy each other. Just annoying each other. Maybe my wife annoys me a little bit, and so I don't really feel like dealing with her right now, so I'm not so paying attention. I'm not so attentive in our conversations. I'm not paying as close attention, and maybe I'm even just trying to get out of it because I just don't want to talk to you right now. Just little micro, I don't want to call them fights, little micro, we all do that. We all get annoyed with each other, don't want to deal with each other right now. And that's fine. That is what it is. It's part of the human experience, right? But enough of those over time do build bigger problems. If it happens enough times, she's going to look at me as I never listened to her. I'm never attentive in our conversations, right? Little grains of sand make a big mountain. You know, by stop ruminating on these annoyances and accepting our spouses for their flaws, if you will, or accepting their flaws, coping and dealing and living your best life with it, you're taking a big chunk of that negative energy that can over time tear a relationship apart away. Listen, there is a such thing as unbearable relationships. This is not a cure-all. I'm not telling anyone how to live. I'm not judging anyone. I'm really trying hard not to put out annoyances and make or breaks. That's for you to decide. If you could free up that bandwidth, it'll help you give to the relationship more positively. And that really is, from what I've seen, the best way to change our partners for the better. It's a process over time, but it's typically done out of love and compromise, as opposed to big blowout fights where if things don't happen right now, things are over, right? The relationship's over. People tend to give their best when they get other people's best. Not always. Relationships still break apart, unfortunately. Give it a shot. Go down the list. You know, maybe this could help somebody. If you're watching this video, you're probably thinking about leaving your spouse and trying to justify it. But it also means you probably still got something there inside of you that wants to make it work. Hopefully this helps somebody. But it seems to me relationships these days do tend to break up more so because of death by 1,000 paper cuts. And that's a real shame. It doesn't have to be that way. And a big part of it is just not letting that resentment set in the first place. You make the best of what you got, and people, under positive energy, under positive context, people tend to grow in positive ways. Under conflicting context, people tend to regress. We all kind of got that in us. So give it a try, or don't. Remember, your make or breaks are yours and yours alone. I'm not judging you. You decide for yourself. Just be honest. And hopefully this video can help somebody.